Marcus Aurelius ruled not with fear, not with cruelty, but with thought. In one of the darkest periods of the Roman Empire when war, plague, and rebellion shook, the world he held everything together, not with the sword, but with philosophy. This is the story of the philosopher-emperor. Marcus was born in the year 121 into a noble but unremarkable family. Nothing about his early life suggested he would one day sit on Rome's throne. What set him apart was not wealth or power, but his mind. From childhood, Marcus was drawn to books, to ideas, to teachers. He slept on the floor to harden his will. He trained himself to endure discomfort. He questioned everything, including himself. When Emperor Hadrian saw the boy's extraordinary discipline and intelligence, he made a decision that would reshape the empire. Marcus Aurelius would be prepared to rule. And so, under the gentle, wise guidance of Emperor Antoninus Pius, Marcus grew into a man defined by calm judgment, patience, and self-reflection. As he matured, Marcus discovered Stoicism, a philosophy that taught emotional control, resilience, and the acceptance of fate. But he didn't treat it as theory. He lived it. Every day he wrote private notes to himself, asking, "What is in my control? What kind of man should I be, even when the world burns?" These writings, never intended for public eyes, would later become the legendary book Meditations. When Antoninus Pius died, Marcus Aurelius became emperor. He didn't want power. He wanted peace, books, and quiet contemplation. But he accepted the throne because he believed it was his duty. Yet instead of peace, Marcus opened his reign to chaos. First came the Marcomannic Wars, brutal, relentless conflict along the northern frontier. Germanic tribes poured into Roman territory, burning towns, slaughtering civilians, and shattering the long-held illusion of stability. The philosopher was forced to become a warrior. Marcus spent over a decade living in military camps, leading soldiers through cold winters, famine, and endless battles. And then fate struck again. A deadly pandemic now known as the Antonine Plague swept through the empire. It killed millions. Entire regions collapsed into silence. The economy broke. Families disappeared overnight. Rome was shaken to its core. Through all this, Marcus Aurelius remained calm. His writings from this period are filled with pain and doubt, but also with incredible strength. Instead of blaming fate, he reminded himself that hardship was a part of human life. Instead of giving in to fear, he chose reason and discipline. Even in crisis, he ruled with rare integrity. He sold palace treasures to fund relief efforts. He refused to execute political rivals. He promoted advisors known for virtue instead of ambition. And after the blood and chaos of each day, Marcus would return to his tent and quietly write lines like, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your judgment of it." He became a living example of Stoic leadership, controlled and compassionate, even when the world fell apart. But there was one tragedy Marcus Aurelius could not escape. His son, Commodus. Unlike his father, Commodus had no interest in philosophy, discipline, or duty. He was fascinated by gladiators, obsessed with spectacle, and uninterested in the burdens of power. Marcus tried to guide him. He trained him, educated him, and hoped he would grow into the role of emperor. But destiny had a different plan. When Marcus died in 180 AD, exhausted after years of war, plague, and responsibilities, Commodus took the throne. What followed was chaos, corruption, and cruelty. Some say this was Marcus's greatest mistake, handing the empire to a man unfit to rule. With Marcus's death, Rome lost not just an emperor, but the last of the 5 good emperors and the final guardian of the Pax Romana. His death marked the symbolic end of Rome's golden age. What followed was decline, civil wars, assassinations, and the slow breaking apart of an empire too vast to control. Yet Marcus Aurelius's legacy lived on, not through monuments or military victories, but through his mind. His private journal, Meditations, became one of the most influential philosophical works in history. A reminder that leadership can be moral, that power can be humble, and that strength can come from within. Marcus Aurelius was not remembered for conquering lands or leading glorious parades. He is remembered because, even in chalice, it chose virtue. Even in war, he chose patience. Even in darkness, He chose wisdom. He remains, to this day, a rare figure in history. A king who ruled an empire and ruled himself.